Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you how to play Invisible Woman in this ultimate guide for Marvel Rivals. As a strategist, she has healing, but she also has some pretty decent damage, as her attacks will actually pierce through people, being able to hit multiple enemies at a time and also heal multiple people at a time as well. Her main fire does 20 damage per attack and heals for 40, but the nice thing about this is it'll actually hit twice, and even at the maximum range it'll still hit twice in the target. The only time it's not going to hit twice is if the target is moving and misses that second shot, but for the most part you can count yourself getting double hits with this. Now, Invisible Woman's biggest thing is the ability to turn invisible. When you're outside of combat and haven't done any attacks for 5.5 seconds, you'll have the ability to turn invisible. However, we also got this double jump that'll immediately put us invisible, and when we're invisible we'll be healing ourselves for 20 per second. So this can be a nice way to get rid of enemies that are like chasing you down. The only unfortunate part is when you get hit, you can turn back to visible. So there's some enemies that'll actually like keep you out of your invisibility, which is unfortunate. So if you're being chased by Wanda Maximoff or Scarlet Witch or Cloak, their continuous damage will keep you from turning invisible, even if you do the double jump. So I actually have a pretty big recommendation here that I don't see a lot of people taking advantage of. If you're being chased, use your pushback, push an enemy back, and then double jump away. So this is pretty much a surefire way that you'll be safe at that point, because that pushback has a really quick cooldown. So does the double jump. So I recommend spamming and using these often because the cooldown is just so short on these. So you can see here we got about a 6-second relay on the double jump there, so it comes back very fast, but also our push comes back within 8 seconds, so we get to use it very frequently. And in addition, we also have a nice damage option, and it'll do 35 damage per second, and it has a 12-second cooldown. It'll pull enemies in, and it also will slow them down by 50%. So our kit is actually very strong, but I don't see a lot of people making the most out of it, which is what I hope to accomplish with this video, to give you guys an idea of how to make the most out of Invisible Woman. So I'll be showing some gameplay off near the end, because you can really do a number with her. It's all about having your team group together. So obviously one of the biggest counteracts to this is going against a Moon Knight, because Moon Knight will be able to hit multiple targets as well as you're healing multiple. Because ideally you'd have all your team in a row here, and you'll be able to just continually heal them all, because your attacks will just heal the team and bounce back to you, and they heal very fast. It's about 40 per shot, and you can shoot multiple shots. You got 10 there with a pretty quick reload. And what's nice is whenever you're shooting, let's say we run out of ammo and you go invisible, you can actually reload while you're invisible, so it won't break your invisibility, which is really nice. But our pushback deals a bit of damage as well. This ball also is extremely useful. You want to be using all of these abilities as often as you possibly can, because the benefits of them is just so high. So always be spamming that ball attack, and use this pushback attack, especially if you don't feel like you're going to be jumped anytime soon. You can also use the pushback to actually pull enemies in towards you. So it's another nice ability too, is sometimes if you see like a healer by themselves, you can ping them and then go like this and pull them inwards towards yourself. Unfortunately, I took them out, but typically what you want to do is pull the healers in while you got like your DPS focusing on them from a ping, and that way you'll be able to just shred them down really quickly. So you'll see there, you can pull them in just like that. But for the most part, the best way to use it is actually to do the pushback and then escape with your double jump. So something like pushback, double jump, and then you're invisible. What's nice about being invisible is enemies that have like a lock on, like if you go against the Star-Lord ultimate, his will lock onto you, but if you're invisible, it actually won't lock on. So that itself is really nice. Our main attack also has a range of 30 meters, which is pretty good. And as you can see there, we're hitting multiple times, even though we're at the very end, and only making one noise. Whereas here, it'll make the 2 noises, but we're hitting the same amount of time. So even at the max range, you're still going to get those double shots off. Don't think like it'll hit just one time. So that's really nice. But you can see here on moving targets, it's sometimes difficult to hit them, because on the return fire, it's not actually going to hit them due to its projectile nature. So that's another thing to keep in mind. But one of the fun things about Invisible Girl is the ability to turn invisible, obviously. Being able to turn invisible every 5.5 seconds without attacking, but also our ultimate, which you can place down, and it has a healing of 165 per second. And in addition to the healing, it also makes the enemies invisible. It makes your whole team invisible to the enemy. And if the enemies walk into here, they will also be invisible too to their team. So it'll give after images, like if someone wanders in to hide away or try and attack you guys, their teammates won't be able to see them, but they'll see like after images of them. It does have some pretty good healing, but obviously like Luna Snow's ultimate's a little bit better in the healing aspect. But you can place it down anywhere, so you can be very strategic with this. So you can just set it down near the payload or near a position or on the point itself, and just have that invisibility and healing on your side. Doesn't last as long as Luna's ult either, but it's still very powerful because of the invisibility that it brings. So yeah, in a nutshell, you want to be using this often, double jumping to get away, and just having a good peel game, and then pushing as way as you need to as well. But I'll show off some gameplay here on how to make the most out of Invisible Woman. Now, I didn't even talk about the Guardian Shield, but that's a huge part of our kit. I just tossed a Psionic Orb there because there's a Punisher set up on that turret, but the Guardian Shield is really effective because it provides 50 healing per second, and it can block up to 300 damage. So there I was able to plop it down, and it'll give you a nice healing boost. So if you can hide behind it yourself, that's our only really way to self-sustain other than the invisibility that we have, but this will heal a lot quicker. So you can see there was a double jump. It wasn't the most ideal double jump because he still hit me and it took away my invisibility, but this shield here is a great way to heal yourself and also provides healing to your team. As you can see, I was able to get some extra health there, and the Punisher was able to heal too. It's actually the strongest heal that we got, but it does get destroyed, so you got to be mindful of that. So you can recall it by pressing F to bring it back, and then you can reposition it, and I recommend repositioning it often. Here I was able to counter ult because the Punisher pulled off his ultimate, and then I popped mine down too because I was able to protect our team and turn us all invisible. And then here our own Punisher had his ultimate up, which was nice. But yeah, you always want to make sure that you're keeping everyone topped up of health, especially in the middle of a fight. But trying to line up, if you can heal multiple at a time, that's ideal because you can kind of make the most out of your healing options. So trying to pierce enemies and hit your teammates at the same time also works really well. So it's really a game of positioning when it comes to Susan Storm, the Invisible Woman. So just getting into the right place at the right time. Here it was kind of funny. I was able to fully take on a Punisher, which I didn't really realize could be possible. But that's the nice thing about the invisibility, even though I just double jumped over him. But yeah, overall, Invisible Woman's really good at just getting into the middle. She's like a mid-range healer because you're going to be able to heal your teammates with the damage, but you're also able to hit enemies too. So if you can get in a position where you can hit multiple at a time, that's going to be perfect. So you can see there, during the ultimate, I was able to block out all that damage. Throwing your orbs often is something you really want to get in the habit of doing because you can pick up some really easy knockouts that way, but also it'll slow enemies down and deal damage over time. So there was one of my MVPs. I got MVP as Invisible Woman multiple times with these strategies, so it does work. Here's another good placement of the shield. Having it in a position where you block your teammate, but then also set up so that you can self-sustain yourself is really good too. But be mindful that you need to recall it, as that is going to give it the ability to regenerate its shield. It has 300 there, which you can see on the left-hand side, and that will recover over time as you recall it. So it's pretty quick, but you always want to have that around, and you want to be using it often so that it can keep people alive. So 50 healing per second plus your ability to do 40 plus per second is really nice. So here's where I use the invisibility to get away, but just be mindful that even though you're invisible, Penny's mines will actually still hit you, so that's something you got to keep in mind. Here I was able to put the shield up into the air, which is kind of funny, but it will block for good duration, honestly. I try to get the shield up in positions around doorways and stuff where you can kind of peek through, get some damage into yourself, but also stay away. Here, I unfortunately didn't go to invisible because I didn't push back the cloak that was actually attacking me. So I had really low health, and that was kind of difficult because my shield was not regenerating. But then it popped back up, and I just literally ran to it because that healing, you can see, is no joke. You can literally heal yourself so fast with that. It's nice because if you do get into a fight with someone, you can just kind of hide behind it and heal yourself. But remember to pull it back if you're not using it, because that way you can have it again. Like I did there, I pulled it back, and now it's regenerated on the left-hand side of the screen. This would have been a good chance to pull that Penny towards us because I popped the invisibility. So your pushback isn't always going to be a pushback. Sometimes you want to pull them into your ultimate because that's the way you can take them out. And as you can see there, invisibility disappears whenever you get hit. But that's some strategies on how to make the most of Invisible Woman in Marvel Rivals. If you found this video useful, please hit the subscribe button below.